Imagine complete silence, absolute nothingness. No stars, no galaxies, no movement. Just a void so profound that even time itself does not exist. Then, suddenly, an explosion of unimaginable energy. Space itself expands faster than the speed of light, filling with radiation and particles. From a singularity smaller than an atom, the universe is born. This is the Big Bang Theory, one of the most significant scientific theories of the modern era. But remarkably, thousands of years before cosmologists described this event, ancient texts spoke of a moment when the universe was brought into existence through a single act of creation. Could it be that modern science has uncovered something ancient thinkers already knew? Or is this similarity merely coincidence? This chapter will explore the scientific origins of the Big Bang Theory, how ancient texts described the birth of the universe, key parallels and contradictions between scientific and theological explanations, whether science and faith must be in conflict or if they can complement each other. As we embark on this journey through time, space, and human understanding, we may find that the gap between science and theology is not as vast as we once thought. The Big Bang, science's greatest discovery. Imagine rewinding time, pressing play in reverse on the universe itself. Galaxies shrink, stars collapse inward, space itself contracts. Eventually, everything, every planet, star, and atom converges into a single point. The birth of the Big Bang Theory. For centuries, scientists assumed that the universe was eternal, that it had always existed and would always exist. But in the 20th century, this assumption was shattered. 1915. Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity suggests that space is not static. It can expand or contract. 1929. Edwin Hubble observes galaxies moving away from each other, proving that the universe is expanding. 1965. Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson detect cosmic microwave background radiation, CMBR, the leftover heat from the Big Bang. These discoveries led to the modern understanding of the universe's origins. The universe had a beginning, and we can now observe the remnants of that moment. Stephen Hawking, A Brief History of Time. But was this really a new idea? Or had ancient texts already hinted at this reality long before modern physics? Ancient accounts of a cosmic beginning. Long before the rise of cosmology, humanity sought to understand how everything began. Across civilizations, creation narratives emerged, stories of divine forces bringing forth the universe from nothingness. Parallels between the Big Bang and ancient texts. The idea that the universe had a beginning is not unique to modern science. The most ancient writings describe a moment of creation that echoes the essence of the Big Bang. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. The Bible, Genesis 1:1-2. Compare this to the Big Bang, a beginning. Science and Scripture both describe an initial point of creation. Darkness and emptiness. Before the expansion of the universe, there was nothing, just a singularity and darkness. Formation of light. Both science and ancient texts describe light appearing at the beginning of creation. Let there be light, Genesis 1:3. Interestingly, the Big Bang also begins with an immense burst of energy, creating light before matter even forms. Could this be a poetic description of the same event? Key differences: conflict or complement. While the similarities are intriguing, there are also major differences between scientific and theological accounts of creation. The mechanism of creation. Science describes the Big Bang as a natural process governed by physics. Ancient texts attribute creation to an intelligent cause, acting with purpose. The time frame of creation. In scientific terms, the universe took billions of years to form. Many ancient accounts describe creation happening instantly or within days. Does this mean the two are irreconcilable? Not necessarily. Some argue that ancient texts use symbolic language rather than strict scientific descriptions. The time frames may not be literal, but instead represent phases of cosmic development. Perhaps these accounts were never meant to be competing theories, but different ways of telling the same story. John Polkinghorne, Science and Theology. If so, could science and faith be two sides of the same coin? The debate is science replacing faith. Some claim that as science advances, faith diminishes, that the more we understand about the universe, the less we need the idea of a creator. But history tells a different story. The universe, a self-sufficient machine or a grand design? If the universe had a beginning, what caused it? If the Big Bang follows natural laws, who set those laws in place? Can something come from nothing? These are not scientific questions. They are philosophical. Science can explain how the universe works, but it cannot answer why it exists. Max Planck, where is science going? Even some scientists who reject traditional religious views acknowledge that the Big Bang raises questions science alone cannot answer. Conclusion: two roads to the same truth. We have explored the Big Bang theory, its scientific evidence, and its unexpected similarities with ancient creation accounts. So what can we conclude? Both science and theology describe a beginning. The Big Bang theory confirms that the universe is not eternal. While science explains the process, it does not answer why it happened. Does this mean the Big Bang is proof of a creator? Not necessarily. But it does mean that science and faith are not as incompatible as they once seemed. Instead of seeing them as rivals, perhaps they are partners in the search for truth. The more I study the universe, the more I believe in something greater. Albert Einstein. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of existence, perhaps the real question is not whether science and faith can coexist, but rather how much they can learn from each other. Like, share, and subscribe to uncover more.